Hey y'all, it's Tamara Bennett from Southern Adornments Decor. I am so thrilled that you're here because I've got something really special to share today, especially if you've been watching SA Live from the sidelines and thinking, well, maybe I'll go next year. First off, let me introduce myself. Like I said, I'm Tamara Bennett from Southern Adornments. If you've been watching me for a while, you might have picked up on the fact that I love to craft and paint. And if you've never heard of SA Live, you may not have any clue what it is. Essentially, it is a crafting retreat. It is our biggest, boldest, most joy-filled creative event of the year. So if you love to craft and create, maybe you've dabbled in painting a little bit, this is exactly the place for you. And if you've been thinking, I want to go, but you know what? I'm nervous. I don't like to travel alone. I don't know anybody. What if I'm just not good enough at painting to be there? You're not alone. Everybody is welcome. And so I'm going to be showing some videos today during this live. The first video is going to be kind of a recap. It's about a minute long and it shows just like highlights from last year's event, which was in the Great Smoky Mountains in Tennessee. Hey, Lauren. And then after that, we're going to be talking a little bit about some reasons why you might feel hesitant about coming. And I'm going to be sharing two more videos. One is going to be a video showing one of our attendees, Brenda Suarez, who almost didn't come last year. And she ended up changing her mind last minute because somebody from the previous year that had attended that knew her called her up and was like, what? You're not coming? You've got to come. And sometimes that's the little push that we need. And then the third video I'm going to show you is from Miss Pattie Cartwright. And she shared some very vulnerable and personal stuff that she and her husband had been going through with his brain cancer and stuff like that, and how they were so thrilled to be able to come to this event. And so I'm going to be showing some videos. We're going to be talking about it. If you've already got your ticket to this year's event, drop a comment. Let me know how excited you are. I don't know how many days we've got, but let's ask Alexa. How many days till October 3rd?
It's 87 days until then.
Oh my goodness. I don't know if that feels like a long time or not enough time. As an event planner, 87 is nothing. I'm like, oh my goodness, I've got less than 3 months to finish up planning this. But as like an attendee, it makes me super excited. And also I'm like, oh, 87 days feels like a long time, but it's also not. It's going to fly by, y'all. We are going to be starting to sell our virtual tickets toward the end of this week as well. So if you're a Painters Clubhouse member, you'll be able to grab those in the clubhouse on Thursday at 10 a.m. Central. If you're not a Painters Clubhouse member and you want to grab a virtual ticket, we will open those to the public July 12th. Hey, Linda. Hello, Christy. Hey, Tina. I see Connie's here. Linda says, good afternoon. Tina's got her ticket. Wonderful. Lauren in the comments is going to be one of our attendees. And I'll also be walking through, not attendees, one of our guest instructors. I'm also going to be walking through who our guest instructors are this year and sharing a few photos from last year. So you're in for a treat. Hey, Cassie, I saw that you said you weren't going to be able to attend this year. You said Destin was a little far for you to travel. I totally understand. So virtual may be your best bet. Lauren said, I'm currently shopping for ribbon to prep for SA Live. Lauren has a vendor booth that she sets up each year at our events, selling ribbon bundles that make like the cutest little bow kits for projects that to coordinate with the projects that we are doing. All of the projects you see hanging up here behind me, to include this fun banner, were painted during our Painters Clubhouse cruise. We did 6 projects. We will also do 6 projects at this year's SA Live. So this just kind of gives you a little bit of a taste of the fun stuff that we like to paint and create. Okay, so I'm also going to be giving you today the top 3 reasons why you don't want to miss SA Live this year and why this might be the year that you finally say yes. So before we get into all of that, I want to kick it off by showing you what it feels like to be there. So without further ado, enjoy this little recap video from last year's event. Do you see anybody you recognize? Maybe you saw yourself. I don't know. Hopefully you can see yourself in that room this year. So even if your hands are shaking a little bit as you click that ticket button, I want to remind you, in-person ticket sales close July 11th. That's this Friday. So this is your final call. If you've been sitting on the fence and thinking about it and just can't seem to make yourself press the button, you have to do that by this Friday. Cassie saw herself. Awesome. Yay. Oh, Cassie, I saw your question about virtual tickets. If you will go look in the Painters Clubhouse, I made a post in there that shares all the details so you can like decide which version you want and all of that, because there's 2 options this year. Marina said, I finally caught you. I've missed you. Well, I'm glad you're here. If you didn't get the alert letting you know I was going live, you can get alerts by commenting alert down below, and it will notify you when I get ready to go live. So reason number 1 why you can't miss SA Live, even if you're nervous, is that you're going to feel instantly at home. I've heard this time and time again from so many of our attendees. The moment you walk in, you're met with hugs and laughter and people who just get you. It's not intimidating. It's actually very inviting. I know Lauren, who's on here right now, she was the first person that came to mind, actually. She has always been a little bit of an introvert. Every introvert needs an extrovert friend, right? And I'm definitely an extrovert friend to Lauren. And she came to her first SA Live event back in Dallas in 2022. And the only person she really knew there was me and my family, because Lauren and I go way back. But she didn't know any of the other attendees in the room. And she sat down and she painted. She got to know the ladies like on each side of her and all of that. And she made a few friends. And then over the next year, after joining the Painters Clubhouse, she started hopping on Zoom calls and things like that, and really just starting to open up and become even more confident in who she is as a painter, as a crafter, a mom, a teacher. And following the next year in 2023, she came to Destin, and that might have been the first year you taught live. Did you teach in Destin, Lauren? I think you have. I'm like, I think Lauren has taught twice now. And so, but in Destin, she moved seat to seat. She found like an empty seat around the room and sat with different people like throughout the day and stuff like that, just to be able to like get to know new people. And then on the cruise just a couple of weeks ago, y'all saw the video of her booty shaking while she was painting. She had her door hanger in one hand with her paint palette sitting on top of the door hanger, and she's like painting and walking. And we joked and said that she needed like one of those things that you wear across your body, like when you're selling hot dogs at a ball game, and it could just be like a mobile painting station. She has become way more extroverted than she used to be. I don't know if you would really call yourself an extrovert now, Lauren, but you definitely have stepped out of your shell and become an elevated version of yourself. I don't even know how to explain it. It's like you're more you than you ever were before. And so I've loved seeing you get to blossom. And there are so many people like Lauren who were scared to come to that very first event. But by the end of the event, they had so many friends. I mean, I just shared one of those testimonials in my stories this morning over on, well, I thought I did. Did I not click save? Isn't that crazy? I shared it. I thought I shared it in my story, so I'll have to be sure to share it again. But Christy Rayner, y'all know Christy. She is one of our Painters Clubhouse members. This was the post she made after attending Dallas SA Live in 2022. And y'all, she's been to every one since. She said, if there was a Guinness Book World of Records for making the most new best friends in 2 days, I definitely would have earned it this weekend. SA Live in Dallas was just what I needed this year. There are not enough words or emojis to express the gratefulness I have with all of you who made this happen. She said that this was a fantabulous time. And so I hope that will give you a little bit of encouragement. If you're feeling a little bit nervous about coming to something like this, maybe you don't feel like you're going to know anybody in the room, you're instantly going to feel at home. I also want to share a video with you. Before we get to that, Lauren replied, she said, it depends on the situation. I'm much better at SA Live, but there are other get-togethers where I'm not as outgoing. Well, Lauren, I think that probably is a testament to like how comfortable you feel with the ladies at SA Live and in this community. You've really become just super comfortable with all of us because we are such a welcoming group. Okay, the next video I want to share with you is on my YouTube page. It says, let's see, Brenda Suarez was one of those people last year. She felt like you know, being with us at SA Live was like being with family. She's an empty nester who wasn't sure if she should even come. She told us that she got a call from a friend who attended before saying, "What do you mean you're not coming?" And that little nudge got her to say yes. And guess what? She told us that it felt like being with family. So I'm going to share that video with you next. Let me get it pulled up here and enlarge it. I don't know if it'll let me enlarge it.
Tamara. First time I think I did an event was in Kentucky.
Woo! Yes.
And she hooked me. As an artist, I've kind of neglected the gift that I've been given, but she's bringing it back out of me. I wasn't going to come this weekend, but I got a phone call from somebody that I met in Kentucky and did Destin with. And she said, "What do you mean you're not coming? You got to come." So on Thursday, I booked a hotel, booked a flight, booked a apartment, and got myself over here. I'm so glad I did. I didn't even tell my kids that I was coming. Nobody knows that I'm here. And I'll tell you why. I'm an empty nester, and I'm having a real hard time with it. And when they don't call home, it's hard.
Amen.
But here, I feel home. So I'm glad that I came.
We are too.
Because so many of you make my family, and I wasn't able to really enjoy you all because I stayed at another hotel. But I'll be in Destin.
Okay, let me see if I can get that turned off. I was like, it's still playing in the background. Y'all may not be able to hear it, but I was able to hear it. Okay, there we go. It was a little hard to hear. Okay, well, if you couldn't hear her very well, she was just saying, like, I'm an empty nester, and it's just hard when your kids don't call home as often as you want them to. And so she's really been struggling with this new phase of life, and she was like kind of depressed. And when you're in like that depressed state, sometimes you have a hard time pulling yourself up out of it. And even something fun like an event seems daunting. It seems like something that like you're like, I don't know if I can talk myself into going to that. So I don't know who it was that called Brenda that day and said, "What do you mean you're not coming?" But I'm grateful to that person because Brenda is a shining light in our community. If you've never met Brenda, then you're missing out. She is a vibrant personality who will give you the biggest bear hug you've ever had. And she's just so full of life. And her coming to this event, I think, really helped bolster her spirits. And she's like, I am definitely gonna, at the end of that video, she's like, I will definitely be there next year in Destin. And so we're grateful that she's coming. Let's see. So if you're sitting there thinking maybe next year, this might just be your Brenda moment. Just like Brenda had that moment of like, I don't know. And somebody called her and said, "What do you mean you're not coming?" This is me calling you saying, "What do you mean you're not coming?" I feel like I should say that to Cassie. She said Destin was a little too far. Cassie, book the flight. Do whatever you got to do. Come be here with us. Because there's nothing that can replace the feeling of being in the room with the people. I mean, yes, virtual is amazing, and it is a really great way to attend if you can't be there in person. It's the next best thing. But it's really hard to explain and understand what being in a room like that feels like until you've done it. Even my husband, the first SA Live he attended, he was like, "Wow, you guys have something really special here." He said there's like a camaraderie in the room that I haven't seen since my days in the military. And that says a lot coming from him. So let's move along to reason number 2 why you've got to attend SA Live, even if you're nervous. And that is that creative fun, you're going to have the more creative, I got to get the words out. You're going to have creative fun like you've never experienced before. So maybe you've just been doing a few projects here and there at home and you haven't like stepped out of your comfort zone or done something that scares you a little bit, like a project with resin or something like that. These events are really going to shake that up for you. You're going to leave feeling fired up and inspired to go home and recreate projects like this at home, and it's going to rejuvenate your creativity. From painting lettering to all the crafty goodness in between. This isn't just about learning, it's about lighting up your creativity. I can't tell you how many ladies tell me after these events that they're going to go home and sign up for a craft fair, or they're going to go home and start teaching paint parties, or they're going to go home and do another resin project because they loved the resin project they did with Cindy this year. So many ladies tell me things like that. And you're not going to just be learning from me. You're also going to be learning from some amazing guest artists who will walk you through each project step by step, no experience needed. And of course, you'll leave with some finished projects that you love and a confidence that you didn't know you even had. So without further ado, I'm going to show you who is going to be at SA Live this year. First up, we have Coach Kaya, our MC extraordinaire. She has been our MC for the last, well, I guess Dallas was her first year, so 2022, 23, 24. This will be her 4th SA Live with us. We are so thrilled to be welcoming her back. She is a new mom, and she'll be bringing her baby, Callaway, with her on this event. And I think her mother is attending with her this year also. And then, of course, me, Tamara, you know me. Our next guest artist is Cindy Manley from Art Shattered. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Cindy has taught at every SA Live, or at least the last 5 SA Lives, I think. And one of the reasons we just keep bringing Cindy back is because, without a doubt, one of the things I hear is the resin project was y'all's favorite. Now, last year there was a contender. The door hanger that I taught was so cute. It was a house with a door on it, and on the door was an attachment that was a door hanger on the door. And so those could be swapped out for the seasons. And so a lot of you guys were toss up between Cindy's project and mine, totally understandably, but resin projects are one of those things that are terrifying to do at home on your own if you've never done them before. And so coming and doing something like this in a group setting with an experienced teacher like Miss Cindy is the perfect way to test the waters with resins. Yes, Cindy's projects are always a huge hit. Lauren said it's so much more than the crafts, the people, the environment, the deals. Yeah, we didn't even talk about the vendor booth deals. I'll get there in a minute. Another guest artist that we're welcoming back who was not there last year is Casey Hope from Pizzazz Art Studio. She's my good friend from down in Prattville, Alabama. If you guys know Miss Casey, she runs an art studio locally, but also has a lettering club called the Whatever Letter Club, where she teaches hand lettering online. And so she's going to be coming and teaching a fun project. It's not necessarily going to only be hand lettering. There will be painting involved, but we're going to be creating a fun project with Casey. Another guest artist is my good friend, Miss Heidi Easley from Texas Art and Soul. Heidi has taught at multiple events that I've done, not every single event, but multiple events. And she always brings a fun party vibe with her. She always loves to crank up the music and to like get everybody kind of dancing and painting in their seats and having a blast. She is a coach that teaches you how to do paint parties. So if paint parties is on your radar and maybe you've been thinking about starting a paint party business, Heidi is your go-to gal. She has an online membership called the Paint Party Headquarters, and she has recently moved to Tennessee. So she was from Texas, hence the Texas Art and Soul, but now she lives in Nashville, Tennessee, only a couple hours away from me. So she will be attending in Destin and teaching a really fun project. That little snowman on the screen was the one that she taught last year. She's definitely the life of the party. I love hearing Heidi tell her story of how she got started and she was painting surfboards on the beach and she had just gone bankrupt. And I mean, you've got to hear her story to believe it. It is so impressive. Amy says, I love Cindy. I'm in her group too. Isn't she amazing? It's funny. Everybody's like, I was in her group too. We are all 3 blondes. All of us teach painting. Well, Casey's not blonde, but me, Cindy, and Heidi are. But we are all in a group called the Creative Club that we started about 7 years ago, and we love to hang out together. So we do end up teaching at each other's events quite often. And then finally, Lauren Martin from That Cute Porch is right here in the comments with us, who is also one of our Painters Clubhouse members and has taught at Painters Clubhouse Live Cruise just a couple weeks ago. She's going to be coming and teaching another project. This was the project she taught last year. It was like a little standing frame with a magnetic attachment and a place to like clip a photo or something like that. Lynn says, I love all these guest presenters. I follow them all. Awesome. Well, if you're not following Lauren, you can find her on Facebook at That Cute porch. And what you may not know about Lauren is she is a member of our Southern Adornments design team. So some of the door hanger designs that you've seen me paint are designs that Lauren has created. She also, sorry, I drew a complete complete blank on what the next thing I was going to say is. I was going to say she also helps me plan a lot of the behind the scenes stuff for these events, for Painters Clubhouse. Lauren and I get on a call at least once a quarter and we say, okay, what are we going to do this fall in the Painters Clubhouse? Or what projects should we teach on the cruise? You know, things like that. She is kind of the creative juice that keeps it's hard to explain it. I feel like when you put me and her together, our creativity combines into a super creativity, but also she's got the detail orientedness to help me make it come to life. So she's the yin to my yang, the peanut butter to my jelly. I love you, Lauren. Gail says, how much is SA Live? It is $6.97, and we also have a payment plan. You can find out more by commenting SA Live down below or clicking the link up in the video description to grab your tickets. Deadline is July 11th, which is this Friday. Okay, and then Lauren said, of course, the great deals. You do not want to miss out on our amazing vendor booth that we set up every year at SA Live. It's got hundreds of products, and they are at steep discounts compared to what you would get them for in our online store. And the ladies inevitably always leave with bags and suitcases full. And of course, you don't want to miss out on all the silly shenanigans behind the scenes. The ladies, the Fleming gals here, that's what they like to call themselves. They dress up and act silly. And of course, they got Michael and my husband and Lauren's husband to wear the fun hats and just be silly. And there's just so many fun things that go on and so many memories that are made at these events. We do love our Lauren. So you saw the smiles and the fun in that highlight video, and every person that you saw was probably nervous to come once too. And many of them, once they've come to one event, come to another one and another one and another one. And they are lifers now. They're at every event that I do. And so some of you might even be able to testify in the comments. I've been to 3 SA Lives, or I've been to 4 SA Lives, or whatever it is down below. Tamara Gregory brings her husband Jody along with her, and I think they've been to every live event that I have done, except maybe one. There was one in Grand Rivers, Kentucky that I did a couple of winters ago that I don't think they were able to attend, but they've been to every SA Live. Sabrina said, I wanted to go so badly, but my money doesn't come in till the end of the month, maybe 1 year. I totally get it, Sabrina. One of the things that I have encouraged some of the ladies to do is to like sell a few painted pieces that they have, or book a paint party or something like that, to be able to offset the cost of things like this. Because really you could pay for an entire event like this with just 3 or 4 paint parties at most. And that includes like your hotel and all your travel expenses and stuff like that. So Linda said, I've been to 3 SA Lives. Heather said, I've been to 1. This will be my 2nd. Heather, it totally feels like you've been to more than just 1. I don't know why, but I feel like I've met you at multiple events. Kind of funny. Lauren said, I had several ask me on the cruise where JD was. I know, he should have been with us on the cruise. Okay, reason number 3 why you must come to SA Live, even if you're nervous, is because it's going to feed your heart in more ways than one. I have one more video to share with you. SA Live isn't just a crafting event. For so many women, it becomes something even deeply personal. And I know this because I hear story after story of ladies that come to these events who share the very heavy things that they're currently going through or have been through recently. And they talk about how they almost didn't come to this event, or their husband drugged them to this event, or whatever the case may be. And they talk about how they're so glad that they came, because it's like therapy. You know, that's why we say it's like a crafting retreat. It gives you a break from the everyday stresses that you're currently living in, and lets you breathe for a minute and just craft and enjoy and have some fellowship with some other ladies. So next up, I want you to watch this little video from Pattie Cartwright. She joined us while caring for her husband, who has bravely been battling brain cancer. She said that having something positive like this, creating, connecting, helps her keep going. And that just gave me chills. So I'm going to hit the play on that video. Where is it? Here it is.
Beach girl, so I'm not used to this. But Tamara, and I'm glad you're standing right there, because I want to thank you. What this has meant to me. Got to go to Dallas. I watched you during COVID or whenever we started. And then I had a cancer test. because my beautiful 62-year-old husband got a terrible, he has a brain disorder. But I'm happy to report he's here. He's in the condos. We were able to come up and go to the condos. And because of this sweet lady and her husband, who's been helping taken care of, and I've been able to be here. And I just want you to know, when you said Destin, I took that as a huge God wink, because we were going to go, my son, actually, we were going to rent a condo and go to the beach, because why not? And when we got his diagnosis in November, I canceled everything. I mean, he lost his job. He just, it was bad. And so I just want to thank you for giving us a second chance to go. And what this painting has meant to me as a full-time caregiver. It's hard sometimes to make time to do it. But every time I do one of your projects, or Heidi, gosh dang, Heidi and Christy Hawkins, who I just love to death, Cindy, all of y'all that I met in Dallas, Miss Tracy, it is just, it gives me a little bit of something to go on. And so I think for probably a lot of people in here, especially those of us as we age, it is so important. And Kaya, today you were so spot on. Just, it's something as you think of as insignificant as a closet, and you start talking about clothes, but it really is so much more. It's everything that we pile on ourselves, and that we've allowed others to pile on us, and that we believe. And joy is the way to go. So I thank you all so much from the bottom of my heart.
I think I hit end on that video a hair prematurely. I forgot at the very end of that video, you see my daughter Charlie run over and give her the biggest hug. And it just made my mama heart so proud. She hugged her and said, we're glad you're here, or something sweet like that. Those videos just touched my heart. And I do need to correct myself. It wasn't brain cancer. It was a brain disorder is what she said. I don't know why I thought she said brain cancer. Either way, that is life-shattering when you find out that you get a diagnosis like that just changes your day-to-day life, and it changes the way you live day to day and the way that you're able to do things and travel and whatnot. And so I was so grateful that Pattie and her husband were able to come and be there at that event and be with us. And so let's just wrap it up by saying, I don't know whatever season you're in. It might feel hard or heavy. It might be a joyful season right now. You might be a new grandma with a new grandbaby, or you might feel like you're a hot mess right now and you're just trying to hold it together. Some days we have those days, but whatever it is, you'll find healing in the creativity and the community that we have here. So let's just wrap it up. The 3 reasons why you have to come to SA Live. Even if you're nervous, you'll feel instantly at home. You'll awaken your creativity, and you'll leave filled up emotionally. And in-person tickets close this Friday, July 11th. After that, you'll have to wait a whole year, or you can join us virtually when those tickets go on sale the next day, July 12th, which is this Saturday. But if your heart is saying go, this is your time. You don't have to know anybody. You don't have to be an expert. You just have to be willing to show up. And so you can sign up now at southernadornmentslive.com, or comment SA Live down below, or click the link in the video description. Sandy said, I did the cruise and I went without my family, but had a great time. Everyone was so nice. I met the ladies that I know will be lifelong friends with. I suffer from several medical issues, and crafting has been my therapy and escape. It was a great time. I'm also going to Destin, SA Live, and I can't wait to see everyone. Sandy, it was so good to get to know you on the cruise this past week, but it was 2 weeks ago now. But it was great to get to see you, and I'm so glad you're coming back to Destin. Michelle says, I'm in the hot mess stage. I totally get that, Michelle. I feel like I am a lot of days too, but it kind of goes through phases, I guess. But thank y'all for hanging out with me today. Whether you're just now hearing about SA Live and what is that? It's a crafting retreat. That's all you need to know. Come get away with us and come paint. Or maybe this has been on your, I had an alarm set to remind me of something. Maybe this has been on your radar for quite a while and you've just been holding out. This is your chance. If you're curious and you have more questions, drop them here below. I'll be checking in on the comments the next couple of days, answering every single one. Send me a DM if you need to. But go ahead and grab your ticket between now and Friday when we close ticket sales. And then, of course, if you want to get a virtual ticket, Saturday, we will sell them right here on the Southern Adornments page. See you next time. Bye.